So the Gate of Life wants to wish everybody a happy Independence Day.
When the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night, we will not vanish without a fight, we're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
Independence Day is one of my favorite videos ever. This is July 5th, and we are recapping the Gate of Life service from July 3rd. My name is James, I'm from the Gate of Life worship team, and this is your Gate of Life recap.
I am a child of God. Yes, I am a child of God.
So I want to give a big shout out to Sarah, who got this bad boy for us, all set up and ready to go. So look for it when we're out and about in the community. And you'll probably find the Gate of Life worship band there. So today's reading was from Job, and we continue on with this epic. And for this week's reading, we kind of return to that hope and that understanding that God does have a plan for all of us. And I think that's really cool because in the first readings of Job, when we first entered this great epic, we hear that Job was blessed with many, many things. And then all of a sudden it's completely taken away, and we get to continue on this journey with Job and just understanding and feeling and kind of sympathizing this great loss that he had. And then we continued on last week in our second group of readings where we discussed how he was responding and coping with this huge loss that he was experiencing. He had friends coming and trying to console him, and he needed to dwell in kind of that sadness. And so we continue on this week where Job returns to this great hope and this understanding, this feeling that God has a plan for him. And I think something I really like about this week's readings is that we kind of look into other verses of the Bible and kind of connect that. Kind of a throwback, I guess Job is the Old Testament, so more of a look forward at the book of Matthew, where we discuss how God clothes the flowers of the fields and he feeds animals and the beasts all over the place, and that we are placed higher than those animals, and why worry about that? And Job basically says the same things when he's responding to people asking him, where's your hope, where's your faith? And he says, you know, if you cut down a tree, it's going to sprout again. And I really like that verse because he connects it with something as simple as woods and plants, and that if God does that for them, there is definitely a plan for him. I love how this group of readings ends, where we continue on to chapter 19, where he continues on to say that he knows that his Redeemer lives and that he will come and walk upon the earth again, and that he longs for that day because through Jesus Christ we are saved, and that's the hope, that's the prize. I mean, that's the prize that's mentioned in Philippians. It's that is what's given to us, and that's the promise that God has granted us, because Job lives in a time before Jesus Christ, but he also understands that there is a promise and a prize that is promised to him, and he knows that that is coming, and that God's plan is greater than the immediate. It is this great epic. There's this great quarrel or kind of wager between the ultimate good and the ultimate evil with a man, a human, or a hero, as I mentioned in the first week of Job, that is kind of caught in the middle of this, and it's really his adventure and his story and his struggles and his hope and his faith that we get to walk with him. And the best part about this epic is that Job was a real person. He actually lived, and it isn't a legend, and it isn't something that we are uncertain about. It's the fact that Job was a human being, that's somebody we can relate with. We continue on with the gospel reading from John, and we revisit the resurrection of Lazarus. And it's not so much focused on Lazarus and that resurrection, but the conversation that Jesus has with Martha, and they discuss the idea of resurrection. And I think it's really cool because Martha states that she believes and understands that the resurrection is coming, and Jesus corrects her and says, no, I am the resurrection. Especially with learning about all these things that Job is struggling with and going through, that he was spot on. He knew exactly what was coming, and he held on to that faith and that hope. Pastor Anjanette did a sermon today about experiencing great sufferings and holding on to that hope that you may not truly understand is coming. And she hits on two really famous films. Castaway, he is stranded on this island, all alone, and he believes that he is all alone because he is all alone. So not only does he create Wilson to kind of help him abide the time, but
Wilson! I'm sorry! I'm sorry, Wilson!
Wilson is being thrown away, and I've never felt so much sadness for an inanimate object like Wilson. In that movie, he also holds on to this hope that he's going to survive, that something is going to come. And you see those struggles that Tom Hanks' character goes through, from cutting his hand in the beginning to figuring out how to eat and survive to the very end, when he realizes that he has the things that are necessary and needed to get off that island. And he is able to do that, and he holds on to that hope and understanding that he was given the skills that he needs to survive. And Pastor Anjanette goes on to another blockbuster that came out called The Martian with what's his name?
Matt Damon!
Matt Damon. So yeah, Matt Damon. He plays an astronaut that was left by accident on Mars during a sandstorm, and he awakes to find that he is left all alone. And he calls out, and he does reach humanity. So huge spoiler alert, I apologize, but he reaches out to humanity, and we get to journey with Matt Damon's character through these struggles. He figure out all these different ways to survive on his own off of things that weren't supposed to last as long as he was forced to live on that planet.
Okay, let's do the math. I gotta figure out how to grow 4 years worth of food here on a planet where nothing grows. But if I can't figure out a way to make contact with NASA, none of this matters anyway.
And then it's all literally taken away from him through an accidental break where all of a sudden all of his food is gone, and kind of like his hope just disappeared, and now he has to survive and figure out how he's going to make it out, and he does. And now with the book of Job, it kind of falls back on that idea that Job didn't deserve all these things to be taken away. The best way to look at a situation like this is that there is hope if we hold on to it. There is an answer, and there is a plan, and that there is a way to make it out on the other side. And there's a process to doing it too. Job definitely went through his fair share of emotions through his great loss, and we get to meet him at this place where he reminds himself that there is this hope, and that there is this great answer, this great prize at the very end, and that there is a plan, that even though we may not see it right now, that there is something that's going to happen, there's something coming for us. And that's awesome in times of hopelessness, and that's amazing and uplifting when we are struggling with understanding why things are happening. So the readings for next week will continue on with this great epic of Job in Job chapters 31, and then also a section from chapter 38. And the gospel next week will be from John chapter 1, 1 through 5. And if you follow us on Facebook, which is Gate of Life at Bethel Lutheran, we will post the verses for the upcoming week so you can stay up to date on the readings and be prepared for worship. All right, now go be disciples of Christ, and remember, even in the hardest, darkest times, in our lowest valleys, that God has us, and that God has a plan for us. Remember that, hold on to that. He has a plan. I'll see you next week. Bye.
Wherever you lead me, I know you won't leave me. Wherever you call me, you will make a way.
Thanks for watching the video this week. Once again, I apologize for the technical difficulties, but we do post videos every single Monday on our YouTube channel at Gate of Life, and you can follow us there and subscribe. And then also we have a Facebook page at Gate of Life of Bethel Lutheran. All right, so go be disciples of Christ, and we'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye.